Before Ziggy was married to the case, she was already married to the narrative. A narrative stitched together with psychics, nobodies, and stories too convenient to be true. From the outside, it looked so small. Just another patch of land, another story. But here, in the hills of Tennessee, a single road became the center of endless stories, each one darker than the last. It all begins on Ben Hill Road, where fact and fiction collided the moment Summer disappeared, and every rumor, every so-called source, was stitched into a single tapestry, an illusion of truth. From psychics, to prison prophets, to strangers in sober houses, every tale was woven into one story. A story built, not on truth, but on lies that spread like wildfire. Because when you stitch a case out of rumors, the seams don't just fray, they unravel. This video contains commentary and criticism of publicly available content. All outside clips are used under fair use for the purposes of education, reporting, and critique. Previously in Chapter 2, Woven Out of Lies, Ziggy had already mastered the illusion of access. But as that story faded, the revolving door opened. Which brings us to Chapter 3, the birth of the pipeline. Only 3 months after Summer Wells vanished, Ziggy arrived. And from the very beginning, she didn't ease in. She planted herself in the center of the case. Night after night, hour after hour, live stream after live stream, pulling in anyone connected to Ben Hill Road, and plenty who weren't. Her channel became a revolving door. Real neighbors, fake neighbors, self-proclaimed insiders, opportunists, even the parents. Rumors, speculation, and wild theories flowed through her panel like a faucet.
Jenna, Lynn, and Prayer Garden is going to be here too. We got Jenna and Lynn in backstage. I'll pull them up in just 1 second.
This was the foundation. The moment a single channel transformed from a newcomer to the nucleus of what would become the pipeline. That the pattern was always the same. One anonymous voice feeding another, while Ziggy stitched it together like a patchwork quilt of half-truths. Every lie served a purpose, to keep the chat alive and the super chats flowing. The louder the claim, the longer the streams blurred together. Until even Ziggy couldn't tell where one story ended and the next began. But she didn't need the truth. She just needed momentum. And momentum came easy once money entered the chat.
They will not be getting the boys back, according to this person. Parent reunification is not on the parents' service plan.
At first, her panels echoed through silence. A handful of usernames, a trickle of comments. Then came the dopamine hits. Bright colors, dollar signs, and validation in neon. The crazier the rumor, the faster the chat filled. Each ding of a super chat was another pulse in the pipeline. The faucet was open, and the flow never stopped. October 2021, Ziggy's most watched live stream. She wasn't bringing on neighbors or supporters this time. She was introducing the ex-friends of Dawn and Candace Wells, people who once stood beside the family, and now stood to profit from turning on them. It was Betrayal, repackaged as breaking news.
So we have a new guest tonight. There's going to be Jenna, Lynn, and Prayer Garden is going to be here too. So yeah.
From the moment they went live, the tone was set. Every guest, every panelist, echoing the same line. The parents were guilty. No evidence, no restraint. Just a 7-hour live stream feeding the same conclusion her audience already wanted to hear.
We will get into that, but as far as I know, well, with Jenna and Prayer Garden, I know for a fact that, they believe that the parents know what happened.
Exactly.
Are involved, and are no longer talking to Donna Candace in a friendly manner. I don't know. So I do know that Prayer Garden had a couple screenshots she wants me to show later, where I think that Dawn did try to get a hold of you, right? Right, Sissy?
Excuse me?
Was this screenshot that you wanted to show?
Yeah, it's a screenshot I wanted to show everyone.
Is this from recently when did Dawn contact you recently?
Yeah, I've got one as recent as yesterday.
Well, yeah, the one. Q Carlock, thank you for the super chat. Q Carlock wants to say, have they said anything at all that you ladies think could lead someone to Summer or to know what happened to this
And right
baby?
as the accusations peaked, came the familiar chime. The sound of validation, paid for in real time. Each ding another reminder that outrage wasn't just engagement, it was income.
No,
The only-
not for me.
The only thing that I know of was the smell in that wall that I took note. I was looking through my emails and everything, and I took note that Don Wells was acting like he couldn't get that job done for.
Somebody
over
emailed
6
me
weeks.
and told me, I don't know how anybody would know this, but there's, absolutely no proof. But if this is true, this is damning info. Somebody told me that the prescriptions filled that day was fentanyl and oxycodone.
Are you
There you
Oh
go.
serious?
my
I
god.
already knew that.
I've asked.
That one sentence says it all. Uncertainty, dressed up as revelation. But Ziggy wasn't the only one treating imagination like insight. Some of her biggest sources claimed their information came straight from spirit. What started as rumor and hearsay was about to meet its perfect partner, revelation for profit. When Sweetie Pie Low showed up in Ziggy's chat, the worlds collided. Gossip met gospel. Donna's dreams became Ziggy's talking points, repackaged as insider updates. The psychic spoke first. Ziggy echoed louder. Viewers couldn't tell the difference. They only heard confirmation. By the time the chat realized what was happening, the transformation was complete. Ziggy had gone from reporting sources to interpreting spirits. The rumor mill had evolved into the pipeline, a seamless flow of belief, validation, and views. Every click, every whisper, every vision poured back into the same loop, and Ziggy stood in the middle, calling it truth. What came next would turn that loop into a brand. From anonymous emails to damning evidence, Ziggy had already mastered the art of maybe. But beneath the surface, something else was brewing. The whispers were about to turn prophetic. At the very same time she debuted on YouTube, Ziggy rolled out the red carpet for the psychic narrative. But instead of starting with Reverend Donna Seraphina, she introduced Donna's #1 cheerleader, Sweetie Pie Low.
Sweetie Pie Low, oh my gosh, she's amazing. She is the one that posted the medium Donna Seraphina's channeling of Summer, and she's doing a video on my information. She asked me today if she could, and she said that everything in that video lines up, especially the CPS stuff, like, well, at least that's what she said. I don't know. She just said the CPS stuff, whatever that means, lines up with what Donna is seeing that happened with Summer and what the boys had gone through. Yeah, Reverend Donna Seraphina, but it's not on Reverend Donna's channel. It's on Sweetie Pie Low's channel. Oh my god, I know I say this all the time. I sound like I'm in love with her or something, but she is so beautiful. She looks like a beauty queen. Like a one that would be on Miss America or something.
Ziggy couldn't stop gushing. How pretty she was. How sweet she sounded. How much she adored her. But this wasn't about compliments. It was about selling credibility by association.
Yes, we played it here. And guess what, Rocky Bullwinkle? Guess what? So the person that played Donna Seraphina's video of her doing that medium channeling Summer, actually, Sweetie Pie Low, she contacted me and we've been emailing back and forth, and she's gonna she said, I just wanted you to know that the information that you put out is exact. It lines up. She said, I feel like it lines up exactly with what Donna is saying.
She handed her fake receipts to Sweetie Pie Low, and suddenly, the whispers reached 300,000 more. Sweetie Pie Low wasn't an investigator, a witness, or a source. She was Donna's hype machine. The megaphone that made every so-called vision sound louder, bigger, and more believable. And then came the visions. Not evidence. Not leads. Just a psychic spinning disturbing stories about a 5-year-old child. This is what Ziggy called bombshell information. Trigger warning. The following clips contain disturbing claims made about a missing 5-year-old child. These statements are vile, unverified, and deeply offensive. Viewer discretion is strongly advised.
Reverend Donna Seraphina, she's a medium, and she predicted months in advance. I played where she predicted months in advance what happened to Tylee and JJ Vallow. Was that their last name? They had last name Vallow also. But anyways, with the Chad Daybell case or whatever, and she also predicted, it's come out, some of the stuff that happened to Suzanne Morphew. So I played. It's amazing. She's absolutely amazing, and she has been used by law enforcement because she's so accurate. So that's why I'm showing her per what she is seeing, and it's really bad. She's saying that Summer was sold for sex. They hung out with a bunch of pedophiles, both Dawn and Candace. Dawn and Candace are both pedophiles, like I mentioned to you guys earlier in the video. I think you missed it, but one of the big shocking things that I said that I released is that Candace, it has CPS knows 100% that Candace was sexually involved with Hunter, and the relationship between those two is still being investigated. But if nothing else, Dawn and Candace are definitely going to be going down for the abuse on the children. But they're not done investigating them yet, so that's why they're still not arrested. But you guys, don't worry, they will be. It's in the works. They're not gonna.
Ziggy's first bombshell stream wasn't built on evidence, but on anonymous post on Facebook and a psychic story. She told her audience that Donna Seraphina had predicted the Daybell case months in advance, that law enforcement even used her because she was so accurate. Then, with no proof at all, Ziggy echoed every vile claim, that Summer Wells was sold, that her parents were pedophiles, that CPS already knew even insisting arrests were in the works. Dawn and Candace haven't been arrested yet, but don't worry, they will be. That's where it all began, a storyteller mistaking superstition for source material, and a rumor turning into a religion. Outside the live stream, none of it was real. No psychic solved the Daybell case. No CPS insider confirmed anything, and no investigator ever said the Wells were under arrest. What Ziggy called truth was just the echo of someone else's fantasy, one that spread through her channel like gospel and turned pain into profit. The detectives who worked those very cases, they tell a very different story. Here's the truth, straight from someone who would know. Lieutenant Ray Hermosillo of the Rexburg Police Department was the first detective to take the call when Tylee Ryan and JJ Vallow were reported missing. He went on to serve as the lead investigator in the case, and he testified under oath in court. Here's what he said about psychics.
We got to talk about the psychics.
Let's talk about psychics.
I love the psychics. Now, please know, I do not believe in psychics, but I love a good. Oh, you got some tarot cards? I want to know all about it. So, what is your relationship with the Reverend Donna Seraphina? Seraphina Donna, one of those is her actual name. I'm never sure which way her name goes.
Okay, so I'll give you the scoop. You ready?
Yes, please.
Okay. Early on, we would get a call from a lot of psychics. That's when we had the tip hotline set up, and we would get tips from everybody. So we would get a psychic that called in and said, the kids are in a bunker. They're being held in Montana. Or I can see the kids. They're in a hole. They can't talk. They're hungry. They're tired. And so they would give us that. Or I could see the kids up in a mountain somewhere. Donna said what she said. So we really can't take those psychic tips seriously because we have to have foundation and facts and evidence in order to follow up with things. Now, I'll say that the psychics had zero to do with us finding JJ and Tylee. It was evidence, it was warrants, it was hard detective work that led to the discovery of those kids. With that being said, Donna had some pretty close-ish information that kind of matched up with how we found the kids. So that was kind of spooky. It was kind of weird. She was off on some things, but she was kind of accurate on some things too. But nothing that she said we use because we can't use it in a court of law. And we can't use it based to get warrants. And so...
Right? Try walking into a judge's chambers with a crystal ball and see how far that gets you.
We would listen to those tips and kind of just, because we had to listen to everything, but we never used any of the information as part of the investigation.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense to me. As a non-police person, a big mouth gossip on the internet, I'm living on every single word the psychics say. But if you showed up on the stand and you were like, I promise to tell the truth, Your Honor, this random psychic from the internet said X, Y, and Z, I would look at you like you were a crazy person. You know what I mean?
No. That's exactly what we would do. Yeah.
You're like, I got this warrant for probable cause because the local psychic told me a thing.
Yeah, I could just imagine Lori trying to cross me on something like that. She would probably have some questions for me then.
That wasn't speculation from YouTube. That was the detective who handled the case from day one, saying it directly. Psychics did not help solve the disappearance of Tylee and JJ. So when Ziggy and Sweetie Pie Low held up Donna Seraphina as the psychic who cracked the case, they weren't repeating facts. They were inflating a myth.
It's in the works. They're not gonna be getting away with this. And it's awesome. And here's just more confirmation from this lady. She says, telling us to rest assured that the people that did this are going to be, they will also find her body. And that would be amazing. I mean, it'd be more amazing if we could find her alive and, somebody just took her because they thought she was being abused or whatever and trying to keep her safe. But, according to this lady, she does not see that. She sees that Summer was sold, and the main reasons was because CPS was hot on their trail, and they were afraid that all the sexual abuse was going to come out. Summer was getting to an age where she can talk about what's going on with her and stuff. She was about to start school. And also, Candace is she was jealous of the attention that Dawn gave Summer, and she was tired of seeing Dawn want to mess around with Summer all the time. It's sick, but it's just the truth. But yeah, $50,000. Isn't it interesting that amount $50,000 comes up again? $50,000. Is that all their daughter's life was worth? Was $50,000? Really? $50,000 doesn't even buy a house. Like, that's all your daughter's life was worth? Sick. Yeah, that was about the most shocking info, was that RR about Hunter, and they know there was 100% a sexual, they were sexually involved, Hunter and Candace, and so I'm sure, and obviously, Hunter is not of age, and also Candace was harassing Hunter's girlfriend, an underage girl, because she's a jealous freak.
Even Hunter wasn't spared. Just 14 years old a kid, pulled into the spotlight of adult rumors and online speculation. What should have been protected information became YouTube content. Instead of helping a child connected to a missing girl, creators used his name for clicks. And from there, the theories only got darker, stranger, and more detached from reality. That should have been the moment to stop. A child's name in headlines, a family under siege. It should have been enough to make anyone pull back. But instead, the story took a hard turn from tragedy to theater. What began as visions and sources turned into casting calls where every new rumor came with a new villain to match. That's right. A man from a 1960s sitcom became the blueprint for Ziggy's next investigation. Donna said her vision showed a man who looked like him, black and white, clean-cut, straight out of TV land. And Ziggy ran with it. Panels started holding lineups like game shows, comparing jawlines, hairlines, and whoever happened to be near Ben Hill that week. Neighbors, church members, even volunteers, anyone could be the new Darren if the lighting was bad enough. Each comparison, each photo, each wild guess was another accusation broadcast to thousands. The Bewitched hunt wasn't about finding truth. It was about feeding the algorithm. And every time Ziggy said, "Could it be him?" another innocent person was dragged into a fantasy built from a psychic's imagination and a YouTuber's desperation.
It's a guy's name off of Bewitched. You remember old black and white Bewitched? What's his name? Daryl? Or Darren? Daryl? She says that the guy who bought Summer looks like him. And so I guess the Gatlinburg trip that they took before Summer's disappearance was all so these people, this pedophile ring, this Daryl lookalike, can see if they want to purchase Summer. It was supposed to be for a pedophile ring. But as you'll see later...
Yes, you heard that right. She accused a Darren from Bewitched lookalike of running a pedo ring, murdering a child, and selling it on the dark web. Totally normal YouTube behavior, right?
Here, I guess that, yeah, she doesn't believe Summer's with us anymore.
Anything got to the police, it would be to look through. I'm sure if the family did go to Gatlinburg the week before and they have all the cell ping, then in that surveillance tape, they would want to look for a person that has looks similar to that black and white Darren from Bewitched. That is the person who purchased the child. And it seems to have happened in this area, and it may have happened in this area just because Dawn was working there, so that was what he arranged. Or, you know, they could have brought her up in the hills there. They could have brought her a whole different place. I don't know where they brought her afterwards. I just saw what I saw. And, you know, again, hopefully it's wrong. Like you've said, and I asked you to tell people, the world's strongest psychic mediums are still wrong 1 out of 5 times. So, you know, I only hope I'm wrong. I hope Summer comes home alive. You know, I hope nothing bad happens to her. But what I saw was a Snuff-film. I'm just going to be blunt, okay? Yeah. It was bad. What I saw was bad, really bad. And
right when you think it can't get worse, it does. Donna describes in detail the most horrifying things a person could ever imagine happening to a child, and that's the moment it stops being absurd and becomes vile. So why do they do it? Is it for shock value? For attention? On YouTube, tragedy isn't always about truth, it's about traction. The more graphic the claim, the more clicks it earns. The more emotion it stirs, the more loyal the following becomes. That's not intuition. That's performance. And Ziggy? She turned it into monetized content, of course.
So did you guys hear that? Ultimately, she's saying that since they couldn't keep Summer for this ring because of the heat of the case, too much public eye on the case, they instead made a snuff film with her for sickos who like to see little girls being hurt and selling it on the dark web. It's freaking sick.
And I really hope that if everything I saw was correct, I hope that these parents end up with guilt for the rest of their life when they found out what became of their daughter that they got rid of for cash. And right. I hope they're dealt with in prison. I hope they go to prison, and I hope they remember every day of their lives what they did.
Me too, Donna. Now, I remember, excuse me, in your first reading of Summer Wells, the 12-minute-ish one that you sent me, that I put out,
yeah,
you say a dollar figure of $50,000. Do you think, was that directly from Spirit, like the price amount? Like, do you think that's actually what it was?
I was just getting running.
Before she tells her vision, understand this. The $50,000 claim was never supernatural. It was a rumor dragged out of Facebook. And the only thing that was running was a narrative and another scam for content.
Running information at that time, kind of like running into my head. And the feeling that I got, so, you know, could be wrong and stuff, but the feeling that I got was that the person who purchased her, that's for a pedophile ring to be sold into trafficking and that kind of, they would have kept her around for longer, you know, years probably, except for it became high profile. So that's where it's that they made a decision and they had to do a standard dozier, D-O-Z-I-E-R. I didn't even know what that meant. Like, I looked it up. Every meaning we can find for it is not good. Yeah. And the person, if the police saw that resembled Darren Stevens, that guy, the black and white, when Bewitched was black and white, that guy was present when she was murdered. I mean, I saw her murdered. Hopefully it's all wrong. Hopefully, you know, it's some crazy things in my head, but I hope, you know, I always hope I'm wrong.
That's how I know, me too.
But he was present, and the person who did it, you know, I saw some jerk in the comments, I shouldn't even respond like that, but said something about Donna sees them making a movie, blah, blah, blah. No, I saw them make a snuff film. Okay, let me be very clear. This was not pleasant. This was not good. The person was wearing some sort of costume and mask. And I saw the child beat up severely, and I saw her stabbed to death. It's not funny. It's not a joke.
No.
If laws are on here, if anybody makes a joke out of it, just delete them. I just have no patience at all. Obviously, I prayed last night that I was wrong.
Now let's see how this actually went. Donna invented a Darren, and Ziggy, with her audience right behind her, spent years trying to pin that fantasy on real men. Men they accused of dressing in costumes, kidnapping a child, stabbing her to death, and filming it as a snuff movie to sell on the dark web. Seems logical and harmless, right?
Just kills you anyway. That would be torturous for that little girl. Yeah, she said the man looks like Darren off of the black and white Bewitched. On YouTube, she's actually the real deal. She's actually worked with law enforcement, legit. She has, and she's been dead on as insane. But she says he looks like somebody from like the old black and white. Is it Daryl from Bewitched? Was it? Yeah, Bewitched. That's who she said, right? From Bewitched. And somebody's like, because Don posted on his Facebook a conversation between him and somebody named Daryl. Somebody's like, is that who Donna was talking about? I was like, oh my God. But she said that the person looks like Daryl or Darren. Okay. So they got it wrong. It's Darren. Okay, sorry.
Darren.
So she said, do you guys think that, I mean, I can kind of see David Dotson looking like the old black and white, what's his name? Darren from Bewitched. That's who Donna said whoever thought Summer looks like Darren from the black and white Bewitched.
No, I think the person that most looks like Darren from Bewitched surrounding this case is David Dotson
from Bewitched. He gives me that vibe.
Also, he looks like somebody who would dress up like in character, like how Donna Seraphina said.
Okay. Oh, I had another picture I think I wanted to show you yesterday. Let me cut out this other lady. I don't know who she is. I don't want to show innocent. She looks like a sweet, very sweet lady. Black and white Bewitched. Darren. There we go. This is a good picture. There are two Darrens on Bewitched. Yeah, this one's the black and white. It's supposed to be the black and white Darren. So here's a picture of him. I wish I could put them side by side. But right now I just don't have time. Yeah, there were two different Darrens, but I think she says the black and white one.
For everyone watching, it looked like entertainment, live streams, laughs, late night theories. But for the people caught in those screenshots, it was a nightmare that never shut off. Rumor by rumor, Ziggy's investigations blurred into harassment.
Somebody, I did see this guy when he was at church, but somebody sent this and said it was a Darren lookalike. You know how Donna Seraphina said that the guy looks like Darren, the black and white Darren from Bewitched? I did see this guy. His wife is actually the lady that looks kind of like Robin, but has longer hair. It's from Bewitched, and some shots I found of a younger gentleman we all know about. Let's see. You sent me an email too, or are you Hold on. What's this? Oh. I don't think that Ronnie Lawson looks anything like, somebody sent me this picture of Ronnie Lawson. Yeah. Let's see what else we got. Oh, here they put him side by side. I don't think he looks anything like the old Daryl from Bewitched. Right? Daryl, or is it Darren? Daryl?
Darren.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so is that who people are saying looks like Darren? I think that was. He did get it approval.
Stevens, the guy from Bewitched, and yes, that was Donna Seraphina's reading, and yes, you are. I agree too. When I saw him, I thought this guy did look like the Bewitched guy. So I see that, but you know, it's crazy. We're like suspicious of everybody, you know.
Bewitched. Remember old black and white Bewitched? What's his name? Daryl or Darren? Daryl. She says that the guy who bought Summer looks like him. And so I guess the Gatlinburg trip that they took before Summer's disappearance was all so these people, this pedophile ring, this Daryl lookalike, can see if they want to purchase Summer. It was supposed to be for a pedophile ring, but as you'll see later here, I guess that, yeah, she doesn't believe Summer's with us anymore.
Anything was
from what I hear, that picture is what you guys remember. Mountain Girl, I think she came back, but from what I hear, part of the reason why she left was due to that picture, or something about that picture. That's what I was being told. Black and white, Bewitched, Darren.
And Bewitched. I'm that old.
We're afraid what's Summer. So this is Darren from Bewitched. And I guess, so you think did Donna say are you saying you think that they look alike? Hold on. It's hard I don't have them side by side, but I guess they could kind of look alike. But there's a few others too that like really look like him too. So I think there's people who look more like that Darren surrounding the case, but I don't know. It is crazy. I was doing a reading last night, a tarot reading on my Empress Ziggy channel. Because I also read tarot and I try to like keep it separate from what I actually believe as fact. But I've done a lot of readings surrounding Summerwell's case and on a lot of different people and their possible involvement and stuff. And over again, I've gotten like, disappointing answers, or it didn't seem to be correct. But I was really getting that in my reading. I was getting that this is involved in my reading. It was. I'm wondering. He also had a co-conspirator or somebody surrounding him of whatever happened to Summer. In Donna's reading, she was saying look like Darren from Bewitched, but I don't really go out looking. Like, I don't know. I do think parts of the
of what Donna's. I think a lot of parts of Donna's story reading could be correct, unfortunately. But I don't really go out looking for people that look like Darren or anything.
Just when you thought the pipeline couldn't get any more ridiculous, Ziggy decided to become the pipeline. After years of promoting psychics, she launched her own uninvited readings on Summerwell's case and on anyone who dared question her misinformation. And she didn't settle for one gimmick. Oh no. Ziggy went full deluxe combo pack. Tarot cards, dowsing rods, pendulums, messages from spirit, intuition on tap. If it fit the aesthetic, she slapped it in. Supercharged nonsense. With absolutely zero self-awareness. It wasn't intuition. It was imitation, copying the same grift she'd been promoting for months. Suddenly, Ziggy wasn't just the messenger. She was the medium. And for her followers, that meant one thing. A whole new wave of exclusive insight pulled straight from the ether. Or, in this case, from 2 dowsing rods she kept smacking herself with. Spirits? No. Just terrible hand-eye coordination.
Whatever that was called, Bewitched or whatever. Okay, the guy Darren.
Everyone's suddenly psychic. And Ziggy? She's the ringmaster of this delusional little carnival.
When I was in my trance, when I went into my trance, I get chills up and down my spine when spirit gives me what I need. And his face popped up in my head, and I'm like, oh, that looks like that guy that bought Summer from them. And he looks like the guy Darren, the black and white. There was 2. There was one that's in color, not him, but the one that was in black and white. You could probably Google it and find a picture of him. He looks almost like his doppelganger. And there is going to be an arrest made. And the one that's put in handcuffs is the black-headed guy. I see him in handcuffs. I seen the law asking him, and he makes a deal with them and takes them to where Summer's body is located. And he sings on DNC as being the one. And I'm going to tell you something else. Grandis knows everything. She knows everything. She is not innocent in this at all. She knows everything. And Summer was taken. At first, they went on a week's vacation. A week before Summer was taken, they went to Smoky Mountains. And do you know, like Dollywood? There's a place like that, and I can't see the name of it. I couldn't get the name of it, but there's like a house with a candy store, and on the outside of the candy store, there's like candy canes. Mm-hmm. And Summer's picture was taken. DNC had taken her with Grandis, and I see somebody else. I don't know the person's name, but I see it's another female. They all went, and they had the boys with them, but they were taking pictures, and this man was there, and he met them a week before Summer was sold. He met them there and was taking pictures of Summer. And
have you seen Donna Seraphina's readings on this too?
No, who is she?
Oh, she's a reader. She said she was saying basically like the same thing about the Bewitched guy, that she thought that the person who took Summer, or the main person responsible, would look like the black and white Bewitched.
You're kidding. Where can I find her at?
If you just search Donna Seraphina.
And that's what her channel became. A full-blown circus of psychics. Tarot readers, dowsing rods, pendulums, visions, downloads, spirit messages, all stacked on top of rumors, strangers, and Facebook fantasies. It looked ridiculous. It was ridiculous. But the damage wasn't. Behind the spectacle, real people, real families, were being accused of murder, kidnapping, trafficking, and even starring in a snuff film. All because of a storyline built by strangers who never knew them. This wasn't quirky. This wasn't harmless. This was real harm, done to real people, in the name of a story they invented. So let's drop the circus acts and listen to what actually happens when psychics hijack a criminal investigation. Here's what the detectives, including those from Idaho, say about the damage Donna Seraphina caused. When 4 college students were murdered in Moscow, Idaho, she used the tragedy as fuel for her channel. Her vision spread across YouTube, and in the process, businesses and residents in that grieving town were falsely accused, harassed, and damaged. In this next clip, retired NYPD detectives and a district attorney discuss the Moscow, Idaho murders, and how self-proclaimed psychics, including Donna Seraphina, spread damaging rumors. Their so-called visions didn't help the investigation. Instead, they harmed innocent businesses and fueled chaos in a grieving town.
Another one, a YouTuber, a psychic, Reverend Donna Seraphina, who started out the day with 46,400 subs when she made this post, that the murderer bakes his own bread and that his parents own the location where he bakes the bread. She gained 10,000 subs on that day. Obviously, Jeff Smith, who's the owner of Moscow Bagels and Deli, was set upon by a campaign of harassment. And, these are the types of things that, you could actually be found liable in a civil court, or even possibly criminal charges could be lodged against you if you accuse someone. There's defamation lawsuits and there's criminal charges of aggravated harassment that could be leveled against you. So again, we have very reckless people that are just trying to get into the story, trying to get their 5 minutes of fame, and they're coming out with these crazy conspiracy theories, just making stuff up.
And he's right. That's exactly what happened. Donna Seraphina's visions didn't solve the Moscow murders. They spun conspiracies, hurt a local business, and grew her channel off other people's pain. From Rexburg to Moscow, the playbook was the same. Run wild with rumors, call them revelations, and watch the views pile up while real lives get wrecked. And that's the truth the detectives wanted on record. The truth that cut through Donna's visions, Ziggy's theatrics, and the damage they left behind. But the psychic era was only the beginning. Ziggy met someone who would take her channel into an entirely new level of chaos. Fred Hill, the neighbor, the suspect, the lie detector failure, the informant, the ex-meth dealer, the man who somehow always just happens to run into a source no one else can verify, especially the ones who are conveniently dead. Dead men don't talk. Dead men can't correct him. And Ziggy never questioned a word. Bonegate, fake tips, wiretaps, staged discoveries. An endless pipeline of stories still to this day, designed to drag her deeper into his world and drag her audience deeper into the lie. Because when Ziggy met Fred, she didn't just find a source. She found the man who would hand her the messiest, wildest, most unverified claims of her entire career. And she carried every single one of them straight onto YouTube like gospel. And that's where the chaos truly begins. And that's where we'll stop. Before Ziggy trots out. Another exclusive source, who somehow only appears when the views are low. I hope to see you next time, because if you think this chapter was chaotic, and trust me, Chapter 4 is the kind of catastrophe that doesn't just knock. It kicks the door in. We're talking a mess that grows legs, a storyline that refuses to make sense, and a duo so disastrous even their lies trip over each other. So keep an eye out for Chapter 4, Married to the Case, when Ziggy met Fred, the bed, the bones, the bullshit.